Facebook, man.
We're live. We're good.
We're good and live.
Welcome to Continuously Live. We've been live the whole time. You guys are just now tapping into our immense energy.
Our potential.
Untapped potential.
So what is this, episode
48, right?
37?
Shut your mouth.
48.
Episode 48.
I rounded down. We're good.
I'm so tired of you.
That's not how rounding works.
We've got
I am
even
not
close.
familiar.
We got a full show. We just finished our production meeting. Brad literally just walked in. Hi, Brad. How you doing?
Hello.
Literal seconds ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I
We were prepared to start without him.
He's been here less than a minute.
Actually, Jake, if you rounded to the nearest 37, then that is exactly
Boom.
how rounding works.
Got it.
Is that math?
That's
Is that math?
no, I mean,
Tilted.
it's absolutely math.
All right,
That's like
It's
undeniable.
dumb.
No one rounds
But,
to the
yeah.
nearest 37.
If you round to the nearest.
But you know what? We did today,
So, okay.
and I have apparently been doing it for weeks, months even.
You are literally off the show. Cut his mic, Tony. Put him in timeout. So, okay, we had we're on week 2 now of our cultural zeitgeist that is Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we've got 2 episodes.
3 out of
down.
4 of us have
You know,
watched it.
just a quick interjection here.
Unbelievable.
I think one of our best episodes we've ever done was the one you weren't on for.
It wasn't that good. I watched it. It wasn't that great.
Okay, anyway.
That hurts.
Hey, screw you, Joe. I love math.
What's that?
He said math is dumb, boys.
So, you know, have I imagine Tony probably
Needs to
has,
count.
but have any of you guys ever got on and like to check our views from previous weeks, like after the videos
Yeah.
are already up
Yeah.
and going? Because I got on and I saw that just like a couple weeks ago, we hit like 410 views.
Yeah, with a lot of people
Oh, wow. What
Yeah.
video was that?
The 29th.
on
Okay.
Facebook, you're saying, right?
Yeah, it was on Facebook.
Facebook seems to be
Nice.
the easiest way.
Yeah.
But anyway, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. So
I feel like there's gonna be a lot
I love
more to
this
talk
season
about
so
next
far.
week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this
Lots
kind
of spoilers.
I'm kind of trying to roll this all together. So 2 episodes in, not a lot has happened. Relatively in Game of Thrones, the first 2
Yeah,
episodes,
it's been a,
which is okay with me because we
large calm before
we had a very
before the
active
storm.
season
Yes,
7,
and the storm
it wasn't
is
good.
coming.
So
No,
this
I wish
season,
season 7 took this route. Like,
yeah, what told story? It would have been fantastic, right? At any rate,
Recognize the passage of time.
yeah, any of those. If they had done one of those 2 things, it would have been a better season. Okay, anyway, everything is set up. Basically, spoiler: a lot of people are going to die next week.
Yeah,
A lot of people because
A
nobody's
lot
died.
of
someone
big characters are
I
going
was
to
talking
die.
to someone about this. They're like, "What if no one dies?" I was like, "I would be mad."
That would be it would be the most efficient battle ever fought.
It will be
in
so
fiction
meaningless.
or reality.
Efficient or inefficient?
Well, if nobody dies when you're fighting the army of the dead, that means you are killing a lot of dead things.
More spoilers.
Well, okay, if you
I
don't know
see
there's
what
an
you're
army
We
of
got
the
so many
dead,
people watching.
so anyway, also this Thursday is the culmination of
It's the end game.
I would say, would you say phase 1 of the MCU?
Phase 3.
Okay, phase right, but this is the biggest.
No,
This is-
Holy
they-
crap! Yeah, that comes out.
Yeah.
Oh
Thursday.
My
Thursday.
goodness.
Thursday
my
night.
Goodness.
I would
This is
say
a culmination of
phase 1 was introducing every character.
Right, I understand.
Phase 2 was getting the Avengers together.
Right, but we can.
They didn't know Thanos. They didn't know this was going to be a thing for like quite a while.
Did we get our
somebody
tickets?
knew. What?
Did we get our tickets?
I got my tickets.
I got him, bro. It was sold out. I told you that.
Uh huh.
Oh, don't.
You want to try to go like MJR on Friday?
I don't want to.
At any rate,
Dude,
I don't wanna go to
No,
MJR.
everywhere else is going to be
there's-
sold
no,
out.
I
Phoenix
checked,
and Monroe might be okay.
I checked.
nobody wants to
I
go to
checked-
Monroe, so like all
Nah,
their.
yeah,
I checked the
but I mean-
Imagine. I checked the Imagine ones. Like the midnight ones have like some shows.
I'm not, dude. I got no. I
It's a
gotta
3-hour
work.
movie,
Twitch fish?
also.
I got to be up at 6 the next morning. I ain't going to a midnight
Have
showing.
you seen all the
It's not happening.
in-game memes like about
getting out at
having
3
to
a.m.?
pee?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? Like,
Oh.
I saw one like the math equation. Like, what if you have to pee during in-game? And then there's like one of the guys like shooting a fire hydrant. Me
Kevin?
after in-game.
Kevin
like, I'm
Feige,
literally
Kevin
not gonna take a
Feige
drink.
or whatever. He said there's literally not a moment to get up and go to
I
the
don't think.
bathroom.
How can there be?
Yeah, he
Well,
said.
look how efficient Infinity War was. Okay, there's a ton of characters in Infinity War, and there was no filler and no downtime really.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was meaningful, but and I didn't feel like anybody got left out.
No, I mean,
No, I feel like they did justice to A lot of characters.
Well,
mean,
now
you're,
they literally have half the characters to
Yeah, now
give justice
Yeah.
to.
you're
Well,
also
they're at-
missing the most important part of the movie too, which was Dinkeldorf.
That was pretty bad.
It was awesome.
Infinity War overall was a very, very good
I'm sorry,
production.
Dinkeldorf.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage
Yeah,
with
what-
this horrible Norse accent.
He was a dwarf.
It wasn't
He was
bad.
a giant dwarf.
Yeah, he was giant, which is just hilarious.
But like, doesn't that take you
In
out
Avengers?
of the moment?
Does it take you out of the
Infinity
moment?
Wars?
It took me
Yeah.
out of the moment.
Yeah, he was.
It wasn't good.
In
I didn't know
Infin-
he was in that. Okay.
Yeah,
He
He,
was,
plays
uh,
he gives Thor his axe. Well, he makes it. Yeah,
Yeah, he's one of the
Hammer, bro.
it was an axe.
Was it an axe?
Isn't
this
it?
time?
It was made into an axe.
Why?
That's the new weapon. What do you mean? How many times
Because
have you
raisins.
seen Infinity War?
I don't know why
Raisins?
they made it an axe.
You heard me.
I,
Two-
so,
I've seen it probably all the
yeah,
way through
he's
twice.
just like the Asgard.
I think
he,
I've
like,
watched it twice.
he's
in
not
the last
Asgardian,
month.
but he
It's
works
good.
for like
He makes the
the Asgards to make their weapons
yeah
and stuff.
he runs
Yeah,
the forge.
it makes sense.
And,
it was
it
it was
makes
not
sense.
well done.
But
Okay.
he
in
was a
movie,
dwarf,
if you haven't seen
but
Infinity
he was a
War,
giant.
right?
No, I
So,
haven't yet.
mo-
I need to.
What?
Overall, for a movie that honestly, in my opinion, that movie was a 9.
That was a good movie.
It was a very strong 9. And that was one of
It's a
its
nine.
weak points.
It's a 9 on the basis that you've seen the predecessors.
I disagree.
I think you have to know.
I don't think
It's
so.
it's way more meaningful.
Coming from a guy who's seen approximately half of the Marvel movies, it was pretty
That's
impactful.
fair.
Approximately half.
I mean, granted, I'm not. I'm
I
coming
would-
into it knowing who Captain America is, and I understand kind of the.
You haven't seen anything beyond before Civil War. So I wouldn't.
That's not true.
I wouldn't
That's
even
not
say
true.
a third.
I've seen the original Iron Man now, which was way better than I thought it was going to be.
That
was
really
pretty
cool.
good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
it was
was
a good
an
movie.
awesome.
Yeah.
That,
If
that,
it wasn't for that movie, we
literally
wouldn't.
that literally kicked off the MCU.
Yeah,
Guys, I understand that. I'm just saying I enjoyed it. It was a good movie.
yeah. I feel like
You guys were like, "What?"
I feel like they weren't planning on doing it when they did like Hulk, which was I think the only one that came out before that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
No,
The
you can
Hulk came
definitely
out-
see
the Hulk came out
MCU
after.
in
The
non-
Hulk went first.
Bad.
Hulk
Yeah, it's
came out before that.
The non-MCU Hulk came out before.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't even. I don't
The
even care
Edward
about
Norton
that
Hulk
one.
came out after. Because at the end of it, at
Nick
the end of
Fury
the,
shows up.
No, it was
was-
Tony.
it was
Tony
Tony?
shows up at the bar to talk to General
Are you on Facebook, bro?
so and so and says, "I'm putting
He's on Facebook.
together a team or something like that."
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Avenger
say
Initiative.
this. I think they could take the Hulk out entirely, and nobody would be upset. There might be like 4 people
Well,
globally
it's,
who would be
it's
upset.
really,
What did
really
they show at the
hard
end of
to
Iron Man
make
1? Did they
a
show the
Hulk
hammer at
movie.
the end of Iron Man
What's
1?
that?
Do you mean like because he doesn't
Get
have
Hulk
his own
out of anything.
Why?
I
He's
think the
awesome.
Hulk is terrible.
And Bruce Banner.
You realize
what-
he's going to
his
be like
character-
a. Yeah, he's. I mean, I think in the comic books he's supposed to play a major role in.
I understand. I
Culmination
honestly
of
do not like the
these
Hulk at
events.
all. At all. I don't like anything about
I
him.
like Bruce Banner a lot. I like his
Bruce
struggle.
Banner's character is.
I don't
great.
like what's
Plus,
his name?
I don't,
You don't
the
like
guy that plays him.
Mark
Ruffalo?
Ruffalo?
I do
Oh,
not
no,
like
you
his
just-
I mean,
name.
I don't like Mark Ruffalo
You just
either.
made
but-
Brittany. You just made an
She
enemy out of
knows. She knows
Brittany.
the truth. Add it to the list,
I
bro.
mean, Mark. I mean, he's a turd, but he
I
was a
don't-
good
I don't
Hulk.
like him.
We haven't seen more movies.
I would've liked to have
like,
seen Edward Norton do
featuring
this.
Hulk.
Edward Norton's a fantastic actor.
He hasn't done anything in the last 20 years.
Could've
Why
been in the
didn't
MCU.
He didn't want to.
He's apparently like super hard to work with though.
Really?
Who is?
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was
like
the
Edward
all-
thing.
Norton.
I feel like
That was
all
the thing
talented
is-
actors are hard to work with.
When they wanted
Like he's like unusually difficult to work with.
well when they
Yeah,
wanted
I agree
he
with you,
wanted
Graham.
like way more control than Marvel was willing to let him have.
Yeah, he comes in and he basically wants to direct. Like
Yeah.
that's that was the case with Fight Club. That was the case with that one movie that looked like it had no cuts in it. What was it?
American
Birdman.
History. Oh.
I think American History X too. He like just about directed.
Hey,
I mean,
real quick,
those are
everyone on
three.
Facebook,
Apparently,
we are
those are
live on
3 really
Twitch.
good movies.
Check us out there.
What'd you
Watch
say?
on all the
Just
platforms.
reminding people about.
Oh yeah, we're on
Twitch.
multiple platforms.
3 devices.
Yeah, get all 3 of your
one
devices
show.
out.
Watch
And
us
watch.
on multiple platforms at
Your
once.
phone,
Make sure
your
you like,
tablet, and your
subscribe,
laptop.
share.
But I don't have any problem with the Hulk at all. Like
It's
he's-
just a personal opinion. It's not like I'm not saying
Yeah.
like he brings down. I just don't like the concept of the Hulk.
What's your
and then,
thoughts on
and then I
Thor?
really do like
Don't like
Bruce
Thor.
Banner. Even now, you don't like Thor?
No, not
like
really.
his character has changed drastically. Just like
He doesn't
Tony
like
Stark.
that. He doesn't like the comedy version of Thor.
Well, to start off, I don't really like the concept of Thor anyway. It's kind of a cop out, like, oh, I'm a Norse god, and now I understand, like in Marvel, it's all science driven, like there's no real magic or anything, right?
Well, there's magic.
Well, of
I
course
don't-
there's magic.
I don't think so.
Yes,
you-
there
have
is.
you
Look at
seen-
Doctor
have you met
Strange.
Doctor
I understand,
Strange?
but I think they root everything. I remember Tony saying this at one point that it's all science, or maybe that was DC. One of the two.
well,
There's no actual magic in the
I think
universe.
I think they've shown that there is absolutely magic in.
I
in,
could, again, like I said, I
in
could
the
have,
Marvel
I could have
universe.
it mixed up. Maybe it is DC because like the Speed Force is like a scientific thing. It's like science fiction.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no magic. It might be DC. At any rate, I really don't like. And that
Freaking-
makes it even worse that Thor isn't a Norse god, because that's what he is. And then like in the MCU, he's like
He's a
it's
Norse
just-
god.
No, but it's just like a planet. It's just like a place.
Well, that's what.
It's not magical at all. It's
Well,
like all their stuff is science based.
it's-
Right?
well,
It's a
I
different.
mean, I agree
if
with
you
that.
if you know a little bit about like Norse mythology, so all the instead of planets, everything else
Is realms.
exists in a different realm. So Asgard,
But Asgard's literally a planet that you can fly to.
yeah, I get it. But
Not no more.
in that case, though, it exists as its own realm. You know what I mean?
No, because it's its own planet. It's just a planet.
You know, Asgard was just kind of it was like a flat Earth thing. Like, did you notice that it
What?
was it wasn't like
It
it
was.
wasn't a planet. It was a flat
I've
Earth
never
thing.
actively
Do you
watched
not-
a Thor movie.
Did you not watch Thor Ragnarok? When they
No,
cut out.
I didn't
Yeah,
see.
when they're
The
flying
waterfalls
away, you
are just
literally
flying
see,
into space?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I forget the giant lava dude, but whatever his name is, like you see him just like kicking stuff over and stuff as they fly away from the.
Well, Hulk almost fell down it
Yeah.
when he was fighting the dog. Mm-hmm. I love Thor, especially since Ragnarok. Thor one,
Ragnarok was the best Thor movie.
Thor
it was,
one,
It was
Thor
great.
one was pretty good.
I thought
Thor
it was the
2
best
was
Guardians
bad.
movie.
What?
It was written like a Guardians.
I don't
movie.
think you've
That's
seen
fair.
Have you seen a Guardians movie?
He hasn't watched one all the way through.
I've seen
but
enough of all three of those
It wa-
movies to know that they're similar enough.
It was
were,
written a
uh,
lot
there
like
I mean,
Guardians
they're all
movie.
really similar.
No, but Guardians has a different feel.
Yeah,
it does
And
sound
I
like-
get what
and
you're saying.
Ragnarok
Should.
had that feel. No, that's fine. I
Like
mean,
it-
that's not a critique of
They
either one.
might
Doesn't
be
take
my
itself seriously,
favorite. I
basically.
mean, Guardians 2 was kind of meh.
It doesn't.
But
It doesn't.
Guardians
Like,
of the Galaxy
Guardians does a very
1's
good job of not taking
probably
itself seriously until
one
it
of
has
my
to.
top 5 for
And Thor
MCU
Ragnarok did the
movies.
same thing where he
Really
didn't
like
take himself
that.
seriously until he had to.
Yeah.
And I thought it was well done. The comedy was gold, and then
Yeah. Well, you can be a hero without taking yourself seriously.
Yeah, but that's not Thor. Thor definitely takes himself seriously.
Okay.
Right? I mean, from what
Well,
I
and the movie doesn't have to take itself seriously, even if the character does.
No, right. I gotcha. Phil, I understand what you're saying philosophically, but like I don't like Thor as a hero. Like I don't like the comic concept. I think Doctor Strange is way more interesting.
I love Doctor
You know,
Strange.
That's also another one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is like, I think is still my favorite standalone.
Jason
MCU
says,
movie.
"I don't like how Tim doesn't like things." He said like 5 things. Right? He says
Get used to it.
he said like 5 different things so far. I think he's trying to get timed out.
Wait, Jason Snegowski or Jason
No, no,
Shisheli?
Just
Shelley.
He's trolling again.
like
Good.
it,
You got to read him off, man. It's only
it's
funny
so
if you
funny.
read him.
Tim, I don't like. Tim, I don't like.
I
Before
don't
every
like.
statement.
I loved Infinity War, even with the characters that I'm not crazy about. I loved the way the movie came together and how it was meaningful. I loved how half of them died.
Whoa.
I'll still never forget how people reacted in the movie theater. Like people were like, "You remember leaving the theater?" Like people were like, they were bummed out. You know what I mean? It was like,
And there was so many reviews the next day, like, "Oh, this is
They
not
missed a
why.
chance."
This is not why I go to see Marvel movies." Like all whining because it had a bad end, or had a not a bad ending, had
cliffhanger.
it had a
well,
realistic
it had
ending.
a sad ending. I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, it's
It was
obviously
so much
It
like
wasn't
a two-part
formulaic.
movie.
And on a standalone basis, it will be formulaic after Endgame, right?
Did you see where it was going to end? So they weren't going to show who all died. Or who
I think
all
it's
faded
far
away.
more impactful to
Oh, I
show
did too,
them.
but they
Way-
were going
way
to show
more.
right when he clicked the snap, it was going to go black. And it would say Thanos will return.
That would have been kind of cool
That,
too.
that could have been a cool
but
ending.
having a year to where you're like Sarah still gets emotional when do you want me to go non spoilers here, Tony?
You can go ahead. I've probably heard most of
Okay,
them.
so
I've
when
probably heard most of them.
Spider-Man poofs away. Like, that's very emotional for Sarah. She loved Tom Holland. So,
Well, he's a very good Spider-Man, and I really like the.
well, and he's a kid, right?
Plus,
So,
plus
Yeah,
I
I really
love
like-
the way they explain like how his powers are incorporated into like his reaction.
Yeah, well, it was kind of. He was told to improv the scene, and he did it. And then people like justified it, saying that like Spider-Man could feel it because he had the Spidey sense.
Yeah,
And-
it makes total sense. And like for
which
me,
makes it more
yeah, for me,
heartbreaking.
makes it much.
And I really like. I seen something where, like throughout the Spider-Man movies and everything, Tony Stark basically kept saying like, I think it was in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He goes after he gives him the suit and everything, and he goes, if you die, that's on me, and I can't have that. And then
Yeah.
then
to watch, like, die in his arms?
die in his arms, like how awful that is for Tony
I love
Stark.
It. I love it. Like but it makes the stakes feel real. You know what I mean? Like too
all
often
the characters being
Jason
gone.
so
yeah,
mean.
too often in all of these different stories, the characters have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Like that's one of my. I've complained a lot about Jon Snow, but for a long time it felt like, man, this guy really he's got okay. Not that he doesn't have anything to lose, but his decisions don't have any ramifications. Like I complain about the Battle of the Bastards all the time. He literally lost the battle, and then they crowned him king. It didn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
It makes kind of
Where-
sense.
I-
in the realm of that
I still
world,
think it makes sense.
in the realm
You
of that
think it
world,
makes sense?
he was the leader,
Who
and
lost the battle?
I understand, but he's still a man that led the charge.
Okay, so
They're not gonna put Sansa in charge
put
when
this
he's
in
a
real
man
world sense.
in that world.
a real world sense here. So okay, the guy that succeeded Hitler, right, was
Don't put a real world sense.
no, hang
Okay.
on, just hear me out. Okay, the guy that Hitler left in charge after he killed himself. Okay, the Allies went on to win the war within I don't know a couple weeks of that. They didn't then make that guy the new leader of Germany. It just didn't happen, right? So when the North won the Civil War, Jefferson Davis didn't run for president of the Union and win.
George Washington lost tons of battles.
He won the war.
Tons. He maybe won like 2 battles.
I just have to point out the battle wasn't over yet.
The battle was lost.
Oh, okay.
bro.
Look, they were losing. Quite clearly, but the battle wasn't over.
Well,
the
what
battle
hap-
wasn't over for a
explain
day
what- explain
before
what
the
happened.
veil came in.
Sounds-
Well,
Sansa-
explain what
the-
happened then.
yeah, the Veil came in and saved him.
They were still in combat.
Why was
when
the veil
when
there?
the Knights of the Veil came along?
Why were the Knights of the Veil there?
Because
Because of Sansa.
Then why would John be named King of the
Because
North?
he's a man and she's a woman. In this world, that it's been said thousands of times that male heirs have more of a claim or more highly respected more than women. Also, you could argue that John broke into the castle before they could defend themselves in a siege. So, like, you could argue that he led a charge to the castle before they could prepare a siege.
The battle was literally lost at the behest of Jon Snow. Like that just is what it is. And then he was bailed out.
I don't think losing the battle was his fault though.
It definitely was.
It was his fault.
How
They had a plan, and because of Rickon, he strayed from that plan.
Why did you do that?
They had a plan to
Good
stay.
old fascist Tim bringing in Hitler.
I'm just saying. Who said that?
They're all Twitch
That's so
usernames,
funny.
So I don't know them.
It
That
might be
everyone
Joe.
might-
Joe constantly calls me a fascist. So
Joe?
Joe.
Oh,
Joel calls me.
Who
other
would
things.
have been named King of the North?
Why
then?
does there have to be a king? We literally already had that season, or we
Be-
already
no,
had that.
no,
we
be-
had that organic moment where you're like, "This is really cool. I can get behind this." And then they recreated it after losing a battle. It just didn't feel. It made no sense.
Yes, it made a lot of sense.
The entire show has been about culminating a new king of the North.
No, that
Like
A lot of the shows
North,
been-
North rebelling against the South. Like they're going to name a new king. It was just going to happen. They're not going to be like, all right, well, we got this castle back. What do you want us to do, Cersei?
that war was over.
They were
I mean,
fighting.
they fought back. It was over. They lost,
The
and then
war
John, because of
obviously
Jon
wasn't
Snow.
No. The war between the North and the South, between the Starks and the Lannisters, was over.
Right, but
Yeah,
the
until
North
Jon
didn't
wanted
wanna
to take
be
back Winterfell.
under their dominion.
But he lost the battle.
I can't get. I don't know. We can just talk about this all day. You're not going to change your mind. I think you're silly. Let's change the subject.
all right.
the point is in Infinity War,
He goes, "Damn it, you got me."
they made a mistake.
You showed your hand.
They made a mistake, and they Thor specifically, right at that point, when he said you should have went for the head.
He goes, "Brad
That
has
wasn't a
absolutely no
mistake.
idea what's going on.
What's his
Better
name?
break my mic."
That's basically what happened. I'm bored. I need something to do. Who said that?
Just
Star
Joe.
Star Lord made the biggest mistake.
Oh man.
Sure.
Oh, he absolutely did. Star Lord ruined everything.
They
I
didn't
still
make
don't-
Star Lord king of the earth.
Hold on. Hold
well,
on.
well, probably because he's
Hold on.
dust. So
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
do not say it was Thor because
No,
it wasn't.
No, he's saying it had to go to
everything,
plan.
Everything happened just as it should have.
No, you're right because of the,
Everything did. Don't say because if there was at least one outcome where he didn't screw everything up and everything still fell apart. So no, everything happened just as it should have.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
He's still like it's still his fault that they didn't win it right there.
also,
No,
if,
it's not.
I'm just saying, if Tony
Just from
had
what
been
my
like,
eyes had showed me, that was the case.
instead of Tony being like, "Hey, don't do anything. We almost got it off." If he was just like, there, done, and then they would have got the glove off, killed him, done.
How? How do you know this?
Oh my lord!
Could've.
I mean, look, Thanos is a badass,
Yeah.
but without the gauntlet, he couldn't have taken all of them on.
That's
He just-
fair.
I mean, he was
Maybe,
he was losing the fight as it was.
You're right. You're
They
absolutely
would have made
right.
him the king. Then.
Maybe.
Stop doing this.
Yeah.
Maybe. But they still lose.
No, they
They still lose in the end.
Yeah. No, they
But
still
that
lost.
doesn't matter because losing equals winning. When
I
you're,
hate you.
No, but Infinity War, it does matter.
And it
When
was
you
his
lose-
plan. He still ruined it.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Everything happened just as it should have.
That is weird
So-
that it was his plan and then he ruined it.
Yeah. Well,
Star-Lord.
I don't think
Yeah,
he
I
planned
mean-
on Gamora being dead. So
Well, he got emotional, right?
Yeah.
His emotions overtook his.
plus Star Lord is
logic.
a hothead anyway, so that would just happen.
No, but
So
yeah.
the whole point of this whole conversation is to say that this week, coming week, in nerd culture, right? I saw a meme about this too.
About how
Game of Thrones is going to lose approximately a quarter to half of its cast. This
No,
coming Sunday.
this is going to to be really big.
It's going to be huge. Probably not quite half, but it's going to lose
a
a lot
lot
of main
of
characters.
its like big character cast. Yeah.
It's going to be considerably smaller.
Well, if you think
And
about all
then-
the extras, it's probably gonna be a lot more than that.
Well,
when you think about
Or extras, though.
what's going to happen on Thursday, okay, in game, I think it's safe to say we're going to lose a lot of the mainstays of the MCU. I mean,
I don't know if I'd
I don't
say
know
a
how
lot.
they're gonna do it. They might just
maybe a couple.
They might just
I think-
retire the characters, but they might not die.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't have
I
to
don't-
die.
right? They're not
mean-
dead, but like this is the last movie we're going to see Captain America in.
I
most likely.
agree with that.
Most
At
You know,
least-
likely.
at least Steve
I have my
Rogers,
own like
right?
little. I have my own
Right,
like,
we'll get
personal
Bucky.
theory
Chris
Yeah.
Evans.
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
on that.
yeah, exactly.
I think that like Captain America is going to get a hold of the gauntlet, and you know, like being like a human, he's going to like try to do something with it to reverse everything, but it's going to kill him in the process. Because like just
Like he's
he-
going to have to sacrifice
yeah
himself.
That'd be-
to bring everyone back.
I think that'd be really cool,
I
but
don't
what
think
I
it's
think
gonna
it's going to be, I think Captain Marvel's just going to get him.
I don't think that's going to be the case at all.
I think Captain
I
Marvel's
think
gonna win
Captain
the day.
Marvel and Thanos are going to have an awesome fight, but she's going to lose. She's not going to beat him.
How can they have her lose?
I think Hulk is going to get his own gauntlet. Just because that's what happens in the comic books.
That's not what happens in the
not.
comic.
Yeah,
book.
it is.
He doesn't
I
get
don't
an
think
Infinity
so.
Gauntlet.
I thought he at least takes one or
He
makes
might put
one.
on the
He
Infinity
might put
Gauntlet.
it on.
Yeah.
But like
Also, like
Adam Warlock's the one that reverses the
I
whole
don't
thing.
know if
Well,
anyone else
also
is
Gamora.
as disappointed as I am in like the little scuffle like that Thanos and Hulk had, because he made him his bitch quick. Like
He beat the piss out of Hulk.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
in the beginning
fast.
of Infinity War.
Literally everyone else that goes up against Thanos lasts longer than the Hulk.
Yeah, but the
and,
Hulk-
and Thanos has more stones later.
Right, but the Hulk is like having a temper tantrum, right? Like he's having an identity crisis. That's why he can't turn into the Hulk.
Yeah, no, but I mean
Well,
like
no, in the beginning he's the Hulk.
like
and
that
fighting
that's
him.
that's
I understand,
why.
but that's the beginning of the.
Yeah.
He's having issues, like an identity crisis.
no, he's,
No, he
he's
didn't
got,
have
he's
an-
got
he didn't
Hulk
have-
ED going on.
He didn't have an identity crisis until after he got beat up.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no,
he was
well,
scared
yeah.
of Thanos. Hulk
What?
was scared of Thanos.
I thought it was he wanted more of a seat at the table.
What?
I thought that's what somebody had told me, that he was the Green Hulk is upset that he's doesn't have as much time in the sunshine.
No,
No.
he's clearly upset because Thanos beat the hell out of him. Like clearly.
I don't know.
No one has ever beat up the Hulk that bad, and now he's scared.
Wants Adam Warlock in this movie,
He's
but
not
I
coming
don't
in.
want him to be.
He's not.
I don't think he's going to be in it.
We've
anyway.
got our Adam Warlock. It's Captain Marvel.
I don't think.
I'm serious.
I don't think he should be in it for like the masses. It'd be cool to put him in it for like people who know who he is, but like
Yeah, I don't
if
think
if
he's
some
in the movie.
random character comes in and saves the day, it's kind of like
Yeah, it'd be bad.
crappy
Well, I don't
writing.
think it's. I honestly don't think it's going to be one random character coming in to save the day.
I think Gamora is going to be a huge part of it. Her
Yeah.
story arc has been so developed.
She's dead.
No, she's not.
She's in the
She's-
Soul Stone.
She's going to be. In
No,
the
she's
Stone.
not. Oh wait, did I say Gamora?
Yeah.
I meant Nebula.
Nebula.
I meant
Okay.
Nebula. Nebula is I think, gonna have a big role in this movie
See that?
because her character's been building and building for 3 movies now.
That's true. Yeah.
About
Have you-
anti-Thanos.
Have
Yeah,
you
that's
heard
true.
about the heard the theory that they've been putting out fake teasers and
Yeah.
trailers that that's not real, like they filmed it specifically
Well,
to throw people off the
I'm sure some of it's real, but there's probably bits that are fake.
I think that's brilliant. Do you see the thing Stan Lee released from heaven?
I agree,
It's
Jason.
a picture of him holding he's holding a piece of paper that says "Don't spoil the end game."
I've got good news for
awesome.
people who are fans of Stan Lee, though. No one's ever really gone.
Oh boy!
Wrong
Speaking
universe.
of
Can't
Stan
they just
Lee,
be gone,
I saw
please?
something really cool today. It was a tribute to him from Hideo Kojima, the guy who made all the Metal Gear games.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen this before, but apparently I don't remember what year it is, but it was he was up on stage with some of the cast from Metal Gear Solid, and he was dressed as Revolver Ocelot. it was awesome.
That's
And he's like,
amazing.
they got the music playing in the background. And he's like saying lines from the boss fight. Don't give him that look. I sat here for 20 minutes while you guys talk about Game of Thrones.
I have no idea what.
You know what Metal Gear Solid is?
I know what it is, but I don't know anything he's mentioning.
All right.
Yeah,
It's a good game.
We know.
Yeah. So no, it
I
was.
never was into sneaking around games.
It didn't
I
have to
mean-
be that way.
Yeah. I
mean,
it
it
was
was-
harder if you didn't.
It was meant to.
it
be
was like
that way.
half sneaking around, half like ridiculously awesome boss fights.
With
Well,
Like I gotta
think it
sneak
was-
around, but now I gotta take out this helicopter with a Stinger missile.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
the games were, especially like Snake Eater, was
that game was awesome.
Yeah, like I feel like it was half sneaking around and half they saw me.
yeah, right. Well, no, it was half sneaking around, half getting eaten by bees.
Yeah,
So-
no, that was pretty big about it. Yeah,
But yeah,
then
no,
there's
it
got to
was-
be like some portion in there eating the bees.
But yeah, no, I saw that earlier today, and I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. But yeah,
We're not gonna get any more good Metal Gear Solid games either anymore.
no, well, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think
no,
so.
not
either.
at
After
all. Did
Metal
you play
Gear
the last
Survive,
one?
Like, what is that all
Phantom
5
Pain?
or Phantom Pain.
Yeah, I think it.
I
it was fun.
I played like the first like 2 hours and it started off amazing.
Yeah, it started off really strong, but
Not good enough to get you to finish it.
I'm weird with games. Sometimes like I'm just not in the mood to play single player games.
The
for, like,
only
months.
the only real reason I did finish it was just because they finally tie in the entirety of the Metal Gear story at the end of the game. But
4 was so good.
4 was really good.
4, I feel like it needed to be left alone at 4. It ended so good.
4 was good, but it needed more.
There's
Like
more
that-
money to be
How
made.
did it need more?
I feel
There
like
was-
I
there
agree.
was
I
18
feel
hours
like
of cutscenes.
Yeah, it needed less of that.
literally the 18 hours.
No, I know.
Of just like they totaled
watching
it up.
them.
No, it
watching,
Still
was-
have story though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
no, the
I mean,
cutscenes
if you
were
can
story.
keep up.
It's like you watch a half-hour episode every time that you finished
Like
a level.
like a chapter or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you do not like story games typically. You're
No, I like story games a lot.
listen, man. I've heard you dog on single player games so much.
No, Adam dogs in single player
No,
games.
you dog. You're like, oh, they shouldn't even have that. Should only be
No,
online.
okay. There's games that don't need it, like Call of Duty. No one plays
Yeah.
Call of Duty for single player games.
Dude, there were some good story elements to Call of Duty games.
I think in Jake's defense, how did
Hold on a
how
second.
did
There's
you
a
like
new, there's a new
Detroit
season
become
of Archer
human?
coming?
Detroit Become Human was
Yeah,
amazing.
next
There's a new,
month.
I thought they
Detroit
were
Become
done.
Human was insane.
This
thought-
one might be the last
What are
one,
you
but they're
talking
not.
Archer. I didn't. I thought it was done.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Detroit Become Human was an insanely amazing game.
Yeah. No, that one was.
Should've
it was
been
really
God
online.
of War was an amazing
Should've had
game.
an online
Yeah.
component.
Spider-Man was an amazing game.
I got one. You want to buy it? It's trash.
He goes, Tim, we're not getting enough input out of you. Break your mic.
Just play Spider-Man.
I'm not gonna play it, man.
Dude, it's really good. It's a
gonna
lot
play
of fun.
Really good story.
I need to sell it while it's
Yeah.
still relevant.
Either of you guys gonna pick up Days Gone on Friday?
Yeah, I probably will.
I still haven't picked up Sekiro, so I'll probably pick that up.
I don't want to.
Then after I beat
Sekiro.
that, I might not even try it. I usually beat those games like 18 times
You
before.
guys gonna pick up the new Slanesh models?
There's the segue.
You see, yeah, no.
Wait,
yeah,
wait.
segue into 40K.
No, I don't
There
want
we
it.
go. 30 minutes without Warhammer. We can start talking
Well,
about
to
Warhammer
be fair,
now.
I own a Warhammer store, and
Yeah, no, that they did put out some new info on the new Keeper of Secrets. I don't know if you
What's
guys read
that?
those
No, I
articles
didn't
today or
see
not.
any of that.
They basically put out like their stat line, like they get a base
Got
8
less than 10
attacks.
rules.
That's pretty good.
Less than 10 wounds for sure, probably.
They've
No, they,
no,
they, are
they
gonna have
14.
like 16.
They have 16
Yeah.
wounds
Yeah.
at toughness 7.
Yeah,
Holy crap! How big is this model?
It's big.
it's big.
It's like Bloodthirster big.
It's like Great Unclean One, Bloodthirster.
It's a greater
Mortarian Magnus sized model.
yeah,
It's
but
huge.
but yeah, it's
it's terrifying. Terrifying model.
hits on 2s.
yeah.
And it doesn't degrade to hit, just the number of attacks I saw.
Yeah,
the Greater
it
Demon-
also has a weapon.
Slanesh is Fulcrum, right? Or is that?
No, that's
No.
That's,
that's
He's
the Primarch.
He's the Primarch of
That's
the
what I meant,
Emperor's
Primarch.
Children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fulgrim.
Oh, Emperor's. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's
so,
the Primarch of the Emperor's Children.
That's right. Okay.
makes
yeah.
me sad in
No,
competitive
it
play. You can't
is-
play the four
Take a
greater
Great
demons.
Unclean One and a.
I don't.
That's a big problem.
Like
to me.
yeah,
Slanesh
I
is
agree
the
with
Great
that.
Unclean One or Keeper Silence.
Yeah, Keeper of Secrets is like
God,
your
okay.
he's your greater demon
Can't
of
talk.
the Slanesh range.
They have
Or, yeah.
a rule where
just gonna die,
in
though.
melee they're just -1 to wound.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Pretty good.
It's just gonna die, right? Turn one.
I mean, it's gonna get
It's gonna
shot
get
the
shot.
crap out
But
of
like,
and
but if
probably
it's playing
fall
up, if it's
apart.
going up against like an orc or a
It's got 14-inch
Demon
movement
army?
too.
yeah, no, it's
That's a lot.
it's super fast, has
That's
a
a
ton of
lot.
attacks. And then like it has like these claws that it gets like even more attacks with. All its attacks are flat 3 damage, at least -3.
It's pretty good.
No, it's
But
real good. Hits
We'll
on
have to,
2s.
did they release its points values yet?
No.
Probably
No,
not.
no, of course
because
not.
that's like the last thing they
No.
release. But yeah,
Um,
I mean, I could easily see something. I mean, it's gonna be like 300 and something on points. I don't know.
Oh god, I don't think it'll be that bad.
All the other ones are like that.
Are they really? Like
Yeah,
how
but-
much is a great and clean one?
How much? What?
How many
How many
points?
points is a great and clean one?
Like 380.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's why. I mean, that's one of the reasons you don't see them. But yeah,
380?
yeah.
Oh
it's it might have gone.
Since
they-
chapter approved?
Let me check.
Yeah, they
Well,
might
let
have
me
gone
double
down
check.
since last chapter approved, but
God, that's-
I don't think they've gone down below 300. They could have, but I don't know.
I figured they were south of 2.
Oh, 285.
Okay, so yeah, it's gone down.
285?
Yeah,
The Great Unclean One.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rodriguez is
I
also
love
still-
that model.
Rodriguez is also 285.
Okay.
So
That's a little bit better, but I don't know. So if
See, for me, like a melee only big model like that should not.
it's
I-
not gonna
I-
be, he's not
I
gonna be
don't-
south of 200.
I don't know. I think
the most expensive
Well-
it can be is 305.
yeah. Well,
especially when since they degrade. Like
Well,
I
look-
don't think that over 200 points.
look
is
at what
fair.
it look at what it compares to though. It compares to a Demon Prince, which is just south of 200. So it's
Yeah, but you can't shoot a demon prince. It's
I get
invisible.
you. I get you, but there's all those other benefits you get from what it is.
That,
Let
to
me
me,
tell
that's
you-
worth 100 points
let
in
me-
and of itself.
let
The
me
fact
tell
that it's
you-
invisible.
I agree with you.
Let me tell you about Demon Prints. They're really good.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh,
I know.
then there's
But
the new
I don't
the
think-
new
I don't
Herald
think you see 'em.
slash Herald model. That thing is insane.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a half Demon Prince, half Herald. So it gives the +1 strength aura and the
yeah,
rerolling
that's
ones.
that's a demon's thing.
Because it's like part Demon Prince.
Yeah.
It moves. It was.
It's creepy
It
looking,
was
too.
fast. It was. I want to say at least 9-inch movement,
it's not bad.
at least. But it's
I hate when things are really good at melee, and are twice as fast as my models.
well
They're
I
just
mean,
as good as melee
this-
and twice as fast.
Yeah, but they have to be because they don't get 3 saves a
Yeah,
turn.
they're
Fair
gonna
enough.
Get, they're gonna get blown
saves.
I mean,
apart.
yeah. These things they go in there and they
Slanesh Psychers.
They have psychers.
I mean, yeah, they have.
Oh, all the demons have psychic abilities, right?
Yeah,
Korn's
except for
the only one
Korn.
that doesn't do
He
psychic.
doesn't like it, so he doesn't do it. But yeah, so that's pretty sweet.
But no, that thing gets like
Plenty of
8
time.
attacks. It's it's better than a demon prince, and at least to me. It's,
Well, I mean, it's a greater demon. right?
yeah.
no,
Not
no, no,
the-
no, no, no.
Or the Herald. The
It's
Herald.
like a human-sized
Yeah, I've seen it.
like
with
yeah.
the same with the
I think it's
same
not gonna
ish
keep a
killing
secret
power.
still.
Yeah.
One of the things you have to when it comes to
But
demon
actually,
princes
no,
being really good.
I think it had higher killing power than a demon prince.
Well, one of the things you got to consider when you talk about demon princes, since there's such a wide range of them,
yeah, there's a lot of variants and abilities.
they're yeah, exactly, including psychic powers.
You
Yeah.
can bring them all.
So
too.
like Thousand Sons demon princes are in my opinion the best ones just because of all the different things you can really do.
Well,
with them.
running a corn demon prince with that relic axe is really popular.
What's the axe do?
I don't remember. I would have to look it all.
I don't
up.
really I don't
But
particularly
it's
like
well,
corn
dude,
demon
no, that
princes,
that
but-
thing can
I
run up
love
to a
those
knight
double
and
talons.
just dirt nap
Really?
it. No, it's
Where's the
super
relic
powerful.
from? Is it from the Demon's
it's,
Code?
It's a corn. It's a
Yeah,
corn
it's a,
thing.
yeah, it's a.
you can also
Demon
charge him
Codex?
3d6, can't you? Deep strike him and charge on 3d6.
I can look it up really quick.
I think you can.
If anyone talks on Twitch, I'm not going to see you for a bit.
But yeah, no. It, I don't know. Well, we'll have
But
to wait and
it's
see.
it's
I
real
haven't
popular and
seen that.
competitive.
Oh,
I don't know
hey,
what
I
the
haven't
Herald-
told you. I beat Tim the other day.
Unbelievable.
Oh, in 40K?
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
good
really-
job. Was he playing Eldar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, don't say it like that.
You're not gonna beat his guard.
Just because I've experienced
You know,
with my
Eldar are better
models.
than guard.
speaking
In some cases, yeah.
speaking
I think
of
overall
guard,
the Codex is better.
did you? I saw you were watching the episode of
Yeah,
that
chapter tactics.
chapter text in there where they talked about Brandon Grant's list that he took to that GT. It was like mono guard, did really well.
Yeah.
He had a really interesting list. I don't know how you feel about it, but I really liked
There were
it.
chimeras in it. I was
Yeah.
shocked.
He ran triple battalion. Everything was Catechin.
I think I've heard
you
this
know,
one.
90 infantry. He had, was it 2 or 3 tank commanders with battle can 2 with battle cannons
Both
and
battle cannons.
and
One
heavy
was a
and heavy
relic
bolters
battle
all
cannon,
around.
I think.
Yeah,
I think so
because it's
he
amazing.
had the tank commander or the tank detachment.
he all
Three
three
villages-
yeah, all 3 of the
vigilists.
detachments were vigilist detachments. Yeah.
Okay.
He had
I mean, that's
so the one
poo-poo
detachment
command
had like the 3 chimeras all with double heavy flamer.
Yeah.
And they have that stratagem in the detachment where you can move and then,
and then disembark.
your guys can disembark and then they
That should be the
do their own
rule,
thing.
by the way. Like
No,
that.
it should
I
not.
think it should.
No, when Eldar exists, no. when you have transports that move 16, 17 inches, and then you have infantry that get out and move 9.
You don't have to let them
No.
move. You don't have to. You don't have to do that.
Why
I mean,
can't they?
even
why
if
can't
it's
they?
3.
Why can't they not move after they disembark?
That's what it was before. I think that's how it should be. Because
But-
right now you have to move up and then hope you don't get blown up. That's why very few people are running transports because
Yeah.
they don't feel like transports. They're just like, I gotta wait. You know what I mean? I would love to see like a Rhino Rush concept come back to 8th edition.
Yeah.
Not come back to 8th, but come back into 40K.
ain't gonna happen. Not even because rhinos aren't very good, because TAC Marines aren't.
Well,
you
you
can
things
put
you put
berserkers
inside of a
in
rhino
a-
aren't good.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
right.
okay, berserkers.
You can put berserkers
I guess I'm
in 'em,
thinking
you can
Space
put-
Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of chaos things you could throw in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, Death Guard, or Death Guard,
I can
Plague
put-
Marines
I-
would be good.
I
I
can put
wouldn't.
those
I
for-
wouldn't even waste the points of putting Plague Marines.
Well, I can
inside
put
of
those
rhinos.
foul blight spawn and those.
Oh, Blight Spawn.
those
Oh
that,
yeah,
that
the characters.
that super
But
special flamer.
I
that
don't
they
think
have.
you need to do that though, because they're
If
characters.
you could get that guy, if you could get 3 of those guys up close, fast, they could do some heavy
That's what I
damage.
love about
No,
8th
I
edition, man.
understand.
You got to play it. You can't write any of this stuff. Still, we're seeing that. Like, the Chimeras have been in lists that have won events.
Yeah.
And I think Chimeras are garbage, but clearly people are winning with them. People are winning with Mono
you gotta-
Thousand
well,
Suns.
well,
Don't
you gotta-
double heavy flamers just not bad.
Well, you got to consider some.
expensive,
You've
in
got
my
to consider
opinion.
certain things too. So one of the things you got to consider when looking at some of these lists and considering what's good is you got to consider like the style of tournament they're playing in. So
In a tournament,
you've got Adepticon, you've got ITC, you've got all these different organizations with all their different kinds of house rules, and some of them are pretty. Like some of
ICC
them
doesn't
have
affect a Chimera, though.
Yeah, maybe not, but it affects Thousand Suns, right? It wouldn't in turn affect Rubric Marines because they are infantry, and if you put them in the ground floor of a building, you can't shoot at them. But So I mean which are
That's no different if you have line of sight blocking terrain though.
I mean that's fair,
I
but there's a lot
understand what
less.
you're saying, but I don't think the multiplier is as big as what you're saying.
Well, it depends on what the lists are, and it depends what kind of tournaments you're playing in. That's all.
Can and just out of curiosity, in our tournaments, can you change guns in between games?
Change what?
Guns?
Guns.
No, your list is the only thing you can change is warlord traits and
Psychic
Psychic
powers?
powers.
psychic powers,
and-
stuff like that.
And
Relics.
and pre-game stratagems.
Yeah.
All right, I just want
Which there
because
are, I
obviously
think it
the
was-
flamers I think on the Plaguebear's crawlers are amazing against most armies. But if I ever ran against a knight, I'd want the entropy cannons just to have a chance of killing them faster.
Yeah, I mean, and
I mean-
that's part of your list building, to anticipate what you're going to see.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think you got to worry about that. Like knights.
But knights
I
here.
think it was.
No, I'm just saying knights. Knights.
we-
In I don't think
just
you worry that
depends
much
on the-
about
on the
range.
t- on the
Not
month.
if I'm bringing
I think the last
80
two
plague
tournaments
bears.
we had
Yeah, I mean,
2 night only players.
You'll kill, I said, yeah, exactly. You'll kill the knight with plague bears. Like you don't need to because this is the world we live in.
I almost killed
So-
2. What are they? Wave serpents with plague bears.
Yeah, exactly.
You tore those wave serpents up, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you can get plague bears
Short work.
if you got the right characters and all the right places and stuff. You can get them up to
mean-
like flat 6 or 7 damage a swing. Like wait,
Plague
no,
bears?
not
It's not
like
that
on
bad.
a,
No,
on a
it's
six-
it's
on
like
a
it's like
six
2 or
Four.
3.
4 is the
No,
highest.
no, because you can get
You can do 7 damage with a single plague bear.
4 is the highest.
I don't think so because there's a way that you can get.
That disgusts me.
I know all the
All right,
things,
so
but like
so the
you
locust
you can get
the locust does 2 damage on 6s. The what's it called? The spell virulent blessing +1 wound
Yeah, I think
does
exploding 6s on damage, right?
wait on it's like an extra.
It's like you roll
Damage.
a 6 to wound, or it says it's a 7-up, but it adds +1 to wound rolls, and on a 7-up to wound, it does like an extra point of damage or something.
Yeah,
Or
and
double
then
damage or something.
and then the plague banner does double damage. So and it's a weird stacking because the double is like always like first. So
Yeah.
like double is to 2, then goes to 3 and 4.
Yeah. So it all depends on how you add it
can't,
up. But if
you can't make it so
Plague
like
bears with 4 damage
you can make
a
it like
swing
so
is stupid.
Yeah.
You can make it so
I
6.
mean, granted, it's on a 6 to
So with
wound,
the
but
virulent
still.
blessing, they're
it's
almost
on like
always
a
wound.
5 or a 4.
Yeah, the plague bear against a
Bang,
knight or a
do it.
Lehman Russ,
At-
you want to
at-
need a 6 anyway.
At strength 5 with the virulent blessing, it's like always like 4 up to wound.
Plus
but
you're
your 6s
rerolling.
are 4 damage, your 3s
Rerolling
or your
everything,
5s are
right?
3
They
damage.
inherently reroll wounds.
Your 5s are 3 damage and your 4s are 2 damage.
Nope.
So like it's pretty crazy that like it's that stack when you have all
Yeah.
that go off. It's
Plus,
4
they're
up,
so
4,
hard to
4
kill.
ups are 2
Yeah.
damage,
Yeah.
5 ups are 3 damage, and 6 ups are 6
You can
damage. or
summon
4
more
damage.
back.
They're by far the best thing in that codex.
You can make them a 4-up invuln. You can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. they're good.
silliness. Okay, we're running out of time, so we got to talk. Tony, you got that picture? Can you cue
I
that picture up?
Do you have the picture? Yes.
Cue it
So-
up.
What picture?
It's a picture.
You got to watch on here. It's hilarious. Actually, show them on your phone. You got it.
Actually, I want to change gears real quick, just for 1 sec. Is that okay?
All right, go.
All right, I'm gonna go. So I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on this, and it's a little political, but I just want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think that convicts, not convicted felons, but people who are in prison, should be allowed to vote
In prison.
while in prison? Yes.
No.
Okay.
Do you think people while in prison
I don't think this.
should be allowed to vote?
I'm asking you if you.
I
Are they
absolutely do
if
not-
they haven't been convicted?
No, if they are in prison.
Why?
Which means they've been convicted.
Right. You would.
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
be in jail
convicted
otherwise,
felon.
You
yes.
get convicted, then you go to prison.
Why should they?
Do people are people ever in prison awaiting trial?
No, they would be in jail.
You'd be in
Yeah,
jail.
in jail. Prison is after you've been sentenced.
Yeah.
Okay. What if they're appealing?
Then you're still,
you're still in
in
prison. You've still been convicted.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
you're-
fair. I agree that if you've been convicted,
At that point, you're guilty until proven innocent.
Okay.
I think when you're
almost
out,
how
you
it's
should have every
Anyways.
right to vote.
Yeah, and yeah. There's,
I would say,
there's plenty of arguments.
You
to be
you
had
lose
for
a
that,
lot of rights
absolutely.
being in prison. So I would say no while in prison, but I
is
don't
that
think
what, is that
a
what Bernie Sanders'
lifetime.
new stance is? Is that we're going to free the prisoners?
Yeah. I was watching
like,
CNN town
they're
hall,
fighting
and
to
it
get
had
them allowed
all the
to vote?
Democratic nominees on it, and
Yeah.
that was like his That was like one of the
platform.
big things he was
Yeah.
hounding for.
Getting
was,
felons
Bernie
to
Sanders was pushing for it, I believe.
Yeah.
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 He was
And I
like-
think didn't Elizabeth Warren say it as well?
No, they asked
They asked
Kamala
her.
Harris,
Okay, I didn't see the Kamala
and then
Harris part.
she basically just like Tai Chi'd the question, just kind of like.
Well, most of them. They rarely answered the questions.
So it
Like they were
was-
softball questions, and they
yeah,
rarely
yeah,
answered
yeah.
them.
They were all. It was really.
Well, that's a
funny to
tough
watch.
position to take because if you're like, no, I don't think felons in prison should vote. I mean, that literally could be half of your voter base. Like, you know, and
Wait,
I
are
mean,
you saying half the people who vote for Democrats are criminals?
not exactly what I'm saying.
I know. I'm just.
You know, it's
sounded
kind of
funny.
like everybody that's ever died has drank water. At
Yeah,
one point.
right,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like it's not doesn't equal.
Yeah, I get what you're. Yeah,
But
I get
yeah,
what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
there's a reason that. You know, it's pandering. They're pandering to a certain group. You
Yeah,
know, so
exactly. Well-
if you are for prisoners voting, do you think you might be pandering to prisoners? Like,
Well, not only that, but if you or your party are the ones responsible for giving them the right to vote, you know.
right, exactly. It's the same
know,
thing with allowing
gonna vote for?
illegals to vote.
Exactly.
Right, like
yeah. So
you
no, I just-
instantly double your voter base, or not maybe not double.
I
But
fe- I-
you bolster your voter base.
I figured I would get some pretty common sense answers like I did, but I just
but you don't
wanted to
always
make-
get that in the political.
Yeah, exactly, and I just
Yeah,
I was
I-
just curious what your guys' thoughts on
Yeah.
it.
I
What
can
about,
see
what about
vote-
people in jail awaiting trial because and they can't cannot afford bail?
I mean,
I think at that
Maybe?
point you're still running the risk of them being a criminal, and
Yeah, but
But-
What?
yeah. I mean,
Innocent
that's
until proven guilty, though, right?
yeah. I mean, that's
it's
that's
tough
fair,
though. It's tough because
but
if you're innocent, why are you in prison? Why are you in jail? Like by the same logic, you should be able to walk free until you're proven, right?
Yeah,
like, and I
well-
don't know.
Well, sometimes
Well,
they have like a holding period.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Well, if you got arrested on the suspicion of murder,
probably not a good idea to let you go.
yeah.
and I mean they'll throw a bond out, bail out there
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they don't.
But you don't usually serve a very long amount of time in jail. Like you might be in prison for several election cycles, but usually jail
Yeah.
a month is long.
But what
for
if it's
jail.
like in November that you get
So
get
okay,
arrested?
I'm sorry, we're running out of time. This is a good conversation. We should have talked about it
I'm
earlier.
sorry. I've been looking for a spot to just kind of ease it
Should
into.
have just shoved it in
and I
earlier.
Just, you know,
I like that. Okay, so you cue the picture up.
He did.
I showed
we-
it earlier, and I can show it again. Now
Okay,
it's up.
obviously we do not have the FAQ yet. So
Yeah.
Dakota sent me this meme that you're going to be seeing either now or
It's up.
momentarily.
I want to see it.
Here, I'll just show it.
So
It'll be up by then.
they are literally taking way too long with this
You're probably not gonna
FAQ.
be able
I
to
mean,
read it.
it's we knew when they said April
I didn't
that
realize
they meant
it
April 30th.
but it came out on the 16th last year, according to this meme. I didn't realize that.
Here's a sister's bulletin. Where's the
It's so
It's
funny.
due in March. Please take
So
a
funny.
survey.
It's so
It came
funny.
out
So
April 16th.
obviously, I think
Winners of that contest.
I think Sunday we'll probably get it.
Oh, that's pretty
So
good.
we'll
I
talk
like
about
it.
it next week. By the way, I wanted to talk to you. Can I call in next week if I'm not
Maybe.
here? So like,
You're
Yeah.
gonna, you're
well,
just gonna,
we might have our son on Monday. So
we can probably rig something,
okay. Well,
whether
let me-
it's Discord or
we can do like an over the phone interview with Tim.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
yeah.
Okay, we're next Tuesday is going to be a big week. An
gotta-
hour might not be enough. We're going to have the birth of Tim's child. We're going to have the big FAQ. We're going to have
Probably.
third Game of Thrones episode. In
Yeah.
which case, everybody dying. We're going to have Endgame to talk about, unless Brad doesn't get to see it.
No, I'll see you this weekend.
so
Well, I don't get to see it till Sunday, so like I'm gonna be on like social media blackout for days.
me and Mario are
good.
gonna go see it. Our tickets.
they are
be
actually
honest.
sold out.
Okay.
Yeah, they were sold out. Like, the
we're
day
not
of-
we're not going Thursday anyway because I got to work the next morning.
I got you.
So I'm gonna.
Well, we wanted to go to the 7:00 showing, and they were
Sold out immediately.
Yeah, I mean, even
we,
then,
we have
like-
9:00, right?
that's
9 o'clock.
that's getting out at
Because-
10, driving home. Yeah. It's not-
I was freaking out. I was like, I thought it was like 8.
no, it's 9.
Okay.
It's 9. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because it's clearly not going to fit next week because it's going to be too full. So I want to talk about these companies that are feed the store. Okay, feed my livelihood. How they protect their brand. Okay, I think GW has done a fantastic job in protecting their brand and the valuation of their product. Okay, so GW stock is like through the roof. It's been climbing and climbing ever since 8th edition came out. Part of that is the value of their product. It has held constant because they don't let any buck-toothed dude in his basement sell it. And
Yeah.
then, and no offense if you have buck teeth,
Or a dude in your basement.
Yeah, but they don't let somebody living in their grandma's basement sell their their retail product.
Yeah.
Right? They have a Tony has the correct term, but they basically have a price floor. Okay, so I can't just sell. I can't advertise that I'm going to sell Games Workshop at 1% of retail value.
Right.
Okay, now over the years they've had some weird internet policies where you couldn't have a web cart. You know, you couldn't list what you had online. You had to have people call in. So they had some archaic policies. But overall, the value of their models and their product has remained consistent.
Hasn't that gone away?
Yeah,
Where you can
it's
still-
about 2 years now, I think, you've been able to.
Roughly around the time of
Eighth
8th
edition,
edition.
yep.
Like the new CEO came along and really changed
Yeah.
like the entire face of GW.
Yep,
The
and
value of the
still,
models have seemed to increase a little bit.
well, the cost has increased, which in
Which
turn,
in turn
I
would-
would say the quality has also increased.
Yeah, well, which in turn, typically,
Well, it's if costs increase, then values increase too.
but now contrast that.
Usually.
Well, especially when the secondary market is based, everybody based it on retail. So, like, typically you can't sell things in the secondary market for more than 50% retail. It just doesn't happen. So, when the retail price goes up, it changes everything. At any rate, let's contrast that now with, well, first let me compare it. So, Battle Foam does the same thing. A lot of the Fantasy Flight line with Asmodee, they own a bunch of different things. They've done the same thing. So, you can't do these deep discounts, these gouging of prices online, and it has retained the value of their product line. Okay, contrast that with Magic, okay, and
Yeah.
Wizards, and I only point to you because you're the only guy that plays Magic. But Wizards has taken a very anti-local game store approach
yeah,
to the way they've handled their business over the last several years, and
their
it's just,
PR seems to be. Their PR seems to be like, yeah, we love stores, but then
But
like
their
their
policies-
policies and their actions don't reflect that.
Not at all. Their policies actually, in my opinion, are counterintuitive to the growth of stores.
Which is
Ignorant.
dumb.
I agree.
It's very ignorant.
It
Like
negatively impacts
the
Their
game-
community overall.
The
Yeah.
game will never grow more without stores. Like if they're
That's why they want Arena.
if they're even still, I don't even think it'll grow more. I don't think you're gonna get arena players going to to Grand Prix tournaments because they probably don't have the cards.
But now think about it in terms of cost. Do you want to host Grand Prix tournaments, or can you have an online tournament where the overhead is vastly lower?
yeah, but like is the money coming in because people spend lots and lots of money at these Grand Prix on cards on other things,
but
and
the
then
secondary market,
the vendors alone
the
are
secondary market does much better at these Grand Prix than the primary market, right?
yeah, I mean yeah,
I mean, you have card vendors that show up.
yeah, but they have
and-
to pay to be there.
Sure, sure, but I would say that it's probably a net gain to have an all online event. It's got to be cheaper from a logistical standpoint. You don't have to pay a venue fee, first of all. So I mean, these Grand Prix have thousands of people. You imagine what they pay for a venue fee?
Yeah.
So cut that out. You know what I mean? But the crux of this is Wizards allows their main product was sealed booster packs and boxes to be sold online for whatever price you want. There's literally no MSRP anymore.
Yeah.
They sell directly to Amazon. Okay, so I guarantee Amazon buys many more boxes than I do.
for a cheaper cost than you do.
Right, well, because they're able to say, "Hey, I'm going to buy
100,000 boxes.
100,000 pallets, or 1,000 pallets, whatever it is, and this is what I'll pay for it."
It's a lot of
And they're not going to say,
Well,
"Nah."
if they're doing it all over the world,
No, I get it.
like they can sit on it. Like,
No, I know.
Yeah,
You're saying that is a lot of Magic cards.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
it is. But now there's no. You can advertise it. I'm going to be transparent here. I buy boxes for a certain cost, and then I see online that they are literally selling for cheaper than I buy them for.
Mm-hmm.
So how, as an independent retailer, how does that help us?
It doesn't. It can't.
No.
Like, we obviously can't sell things cheaper than we buy them for.
Right.
That's a bad business.
Yeah, no.
Well, I
no
mean,
one-
you go.
Business 101.
Yeah.
Don't.
You have to turn profit.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
why do they have these policies? Why don't they care
They're trying-
about
they're
us?
I
trying-
would say hubris, ignorance, and greed.
So their PR and stuff has been talking about how they're trying to expand to the masses that don't have LGSs. So Arena and Amazon.
That's going to be a larger number of people if they continue the way they're doing.
Yeah,
Look,
Arena-
look at just locally how many stores have gone out of business locally
yeah.
in our area.
But
At
like
least 3,
Arena
right,
and
in the last
Amazon
6
is a way to
months.
get the people in the country with no LGS and 3-hour radius,
Yeah.
a way to get Magic product easily and accessible.
It's the same ignorant talk that we heard from
But-
GW when they said, well, people might not be comfortable shopping online. And you're like, dude, it's 2016.
Yeah.
Okay, you can order human beings online if you know where to go and do it.
Don't do it.
I'm not saying, I'm not advocating it.
It's
I'm
also
saying,
not legal.
This is
Right.
that's the exact same company that at one point said, we do not do market research when
Right.
it comes to our product.
Right.
And then a month later came out and said only 10% of our customers play our game. This happened.
If you don't do market research, here's some market research.
Right, but then now look,
10%, and it's actually the inverse.
I was about to
Okay.
say I was skeptical
Only
of that
10%
number
don't
when
play it.
I would say
like-
90% play, 10% just
Yeah.
collect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
It's probably more like 75% play, but it might be. I don't know.
yeah,
Well,
but
I
I
certainly-
think I would safely say 90% play once in a while.
I certainly,
Right.
So
have stopped buying boxes not because I collect or I don't play, right? And I collect. I stopped buying stuff because I'm currently not playing as much. I'm buying more. So it is.
Well, and if you don't have
Yeah.
a place to go play, that hinders your hinders your exposure, it hinders your creativity.
Well, the biggest thing is that both of these games, Warhammer and Magic, is a huge nationwide, worldwide community.
Yeah.
There's literally communities built off of this game, at stores or online, whatever.
I mean, we're literally here because of the communities that these.
Yeah, we
games
were able
foster.
to open up because we
there
knew
was
that,
a demand for Magic and 40K. Yeah, absolutely.
But
And you know,
when you start doing what Magic's doing and
Alienating the very
Alienating the stores.
centers of
centers of
community
communities,
growth.
yeah, then you're going
It'll-
to get less and
It's
less
like
community.
poisoning your own water
You can't
supply.
do
it'll
it.
Yeah, when-
it'll
when it
it'll come
comes
back.
to-
It'll come back to bite them in the butt eventually. So once you alienate these stores, and once they put enough, maybe not necessarily put enough out of business, but once they stop saying
Well-
as much product being moved from
But
local
now
stores.
here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Okay, so
It-
they don't have a suggested retail price of their product. Okay,
That's interesting.
They
Yeah.
stopped it just
it's
like
ignorant.
3 months ago.
Super ignorant.
Yeah.
But at any rate, all these stores still have to buy the product
Yeah.
because if you don't have it when it's in demand, you make no money. Right. So even if you don't sell it. Okay, so if I buy 100 boxes from Wizards,
Yeah.
okay, indirectly through distribution, I buy 100 boxes from
Oh yeah,
Wizards.
because that's
They-
another thing is that they stopped doing Wizards Direct, so
Yeah.
stores can't get boxes from Wizards anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Wizards are literally only giving their boxes to distributors
Distributors.
and Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's
But they still make their money up front because all of the distributors are like, okay, Magic is a hot commodity. I've got to buy. Okay, Amazon buys 1,000 pallets. Each of these different
Distributors
6
buy
different
X amount of
distributors, they
pallets.
buy 2,000 pallets between the 6 of them, right?
I wonder.
Wizards sells it all, so
Yeah,
they're
no,
fine.
I know. I
They
wonder if
get their
it's.
full margin. They're totally fine.
I wonder if it's because the demand of that product fluctuates incredibly too. I mean, people want Magic, but the demand between each set, at least from what I've seen that releases, it'll be up to everyone wants it to nobody wants it.
Well,
And
see,
it'll range
and
right in there.
If we had
like
had more time,
anywhere.
I was
All
going to talk
depends on
about
what's in the
rules.
set.
Yeah,
I was going to talk
exactly.
about rules also, and that's been incredibly true. So when we first
Yeah,
opened
it's
Magic, you
insane.
couldn't miss on Magic. You couldn't miss on any of it. And then there was a 2-year window where you couldn't hit on it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but now it's starting to swing back because they're taking more care in the quality of the product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing GW has done with 8th edition and Age of Sigmar. Okay.
Yeah.
They've had a conscientious effort to improve the play of their game, and then brilliantly sells more
Yeah,
product.
well, and here's the funny thing about that too. So compare and contrast what I said about Wizards to GW. GW doesn't have that fluctuation in demand. Their demand has only gotten bigger since
Well,
we've been
but that's not
involved.
entirely true. It's just longer cycles, right?
do
So
you mean?
6th and 7th edition, the demand was much lower. Okay, 8th
yeah,
edition
yeah.
has seen a marked increase.
No, I agree with you. I'm saying between then though, we haven't seen a huge fluctuation between releases.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. The
it
wavelengths
usually
are just
sells
different.
pretty well.
The wavelengths are just different.
It's more consistent, is what I'm saying.
Well, I would say it's more gradual. Okay, so like the decline was more gradual in 7th.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas Magic
thing is,
comes
like,
out every 4 months.
It's not like Magic can't
or 3
impose
months.
the same policies as like GW where
They protect their stores.
where they protect the stores. Where
Yeah.
where Amazon and Dragon Ball had the same problem where
Yeah.
where people could just
Yep.
the buck teeth people in their basement
Yeah.
could
And then
buy
they
boxes
found-
and sell them for $5 more than they bought them for.
Yeah.
And
or
it hurts
$2
stores
$2
completely.
more.
No,
$1
yeah, I-
more.
Now, like,
I
And so
completely.
like there's no reason that these companies can't say you can't you will get rights pulled to hold our product if you sell them at this.
First of all,
might-
you should never be able to sell. Okay, not it shouldn't be law, but it's a bad policy to sell to non-brick and mortars. It just is because like the Billy in his basement is not building your community.
Yeah.
He's not promoting you in any way. Think about all the free.
I would-
Think about all the free advertising we do for
I
these
would
companies.
say
think
it's
about
bad
how
policy
important
to
like
sell to them,
the friendly local game store is, right? Like and this is common for both GW and Wizards and really all of these types of games. Like I don't think that the three of us would have gotten into 40K originally back when we did if we didn't have somewhere that we could go
To buy it?
to play.
to see it, to see the
Like,
Well,
physical
yeah,
product.
I actually,
like,
yeah. I
like
actually
because
agree
we,
with you on
we
that.
went to another store and we saw it all there and we thought it was awesome. We fell in love with the game. And you took the jump and I followed you.
Yeah.
Now, if we didn't have a place like this where we could come to play with with the community, I don't think we would be in the hobby.
No, I agree.
And I think Magic is exactly the same way. So I don't understand why they're trying to pander to these people who don't have a local game
it's
store
all numbers to
within
them.
3 hours distance of them.
Yeah, it's all
Like,
about
they're not,
sales.
They're not gonna.
Yeah, I
Like,
think.
They're not gonna-
I think they're important players as well because people travel. I've traveled 9 hours. To
Yeah,
a
no,
tournament-
no,
to
I
tournament.
get
So,
that, but like people who, if you can't play like consistently, then you're gonna lose interest, and then you're gonna totally stop buying.
I agree.
think it's the brick and mortar that
well, there's plenty.
holds these
Well, there's
games
plenty of
together.
brick and mortar stores that have grown above brick and mortar that can suffice or fulfill that online demand that that Amazon's not needed.
But yeah, the nature of
Like
multiplayer games
Channel
is it
Fireball.
requires a community.
Yeah.
And there's really no great way of building a community. I mean, you might be able to do it, but
There might
just
be a
Amazon,
friend group. There might
you're-
be a friend group.
Yeah, you can
in
have friends.
in your
Yeah.
school in the middle of nowhere that
Yeah.
loves Magic.
someone who
And
has
I think
access
that
to their
they-
dining room table for a few hours a day.
exist.
And
Yeah.
getting
Yeah,
them cards, I
100%
think, is
exists.
important.
You're right.
But I don't think sacrificing your
the
local
thing
game
is, you
stores.
can easily have both, right?
just-
Yeah, yeah. You
Well,
know,
look,
and that's
look,
the thing,
look
though.
at
You don't
Cool
have
Stuff
to.
Inc., Star City Games, Channel Fireball. These are all that started off kind of as brick and mortar stores, or at least online stores for Magic, and it has grown to huge success. That already fulfilled that online demand. There's no reason that, and they sold it at reasonable prices. They didn't sell up for $90 a box, and so
Cool Stuff
That-
Inc. Then I always thought that they were like a deep gouger.
a deep gouger.
I always thought they were. I mean,
Well, Star City Games and Cool Stuff Inc. sell a little bit maybe above what you would get at your local game store, but it's still fine, right? Like if you live in the middle of nowhere and you have to buy a box for $110 instead of $100 at your local game store at a local game store like this, that's fine. That's not a big deal. There's no reason that Amazon needs to exist to sell them for $90.
yeah, I mean, and I really think that everybody's better off if that number.
Even we've
if
shipped
they-
cards to the middle of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. We've shipped
Yeah.
cards to Puerto Rico.
But-
So
but-
like
for
the online
new
demand's already
product,
fulfilled.
But for new product, they need to have some kind of policy where if a box costs 150 retail, you can't sell it for less than like 130. Like you just can't.
They really
Because
should
then
have a
that-
price floor.
But
That would change
that
a lot.
incentivizes because you come into the store and you're like, okay, I get to use store credit now, right? I get to do all these different things so where I'm not paying $130 that I have to pay on Amazon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that way, it's giving you both because you're capturing the guy in the middle of nowhere because you're selling it the deepest allowed discount, right? To him because he doesn't have a choice, and then you're also selling to the store. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Okay, right now in the current format, only Wizards and Amazon are winning.
I was just about to say, yeah. Well, the only issue with setting up a price floor is you are moving less product.
But Wizards isn't.
No,
Wizards
no,
isn't.
No,
Wizards-
Wizards is moving less product.
No.
If they,
A bit less, yeah.
What's that?
A bit less, yeah.
I don't think so
Distributors
because
might want to
all-
buy less, right?
demand is.
But if demand is still high at the store level, stores have to buy through distributors.
That's
who
how.
then will have to buy
first
more
off, that's
from
how.
Wizards.
I'm not talking about from the store level. I'm talking about from the Amazon level.
But that's
if
how.
if their prices go, if Amazon's prices go up, they will buy less.
So
That's
Sure,
that's
but,
just
but
how it
stores
works.
may sell more.
Here's
Well, yeah. Having these lower
But-
prices does sell more product, but it's short-sighted because it doesn't help the community.
Having
And-
a
And
floor,
think
a price
about it this
floor.
way.
No,
That-
not
that's-
having a price floor.
Oh,
It's
right,
short,
right,
That's
right.
only,
it's short-sighted.
that's
doesn't
only
help.
they
Right, you make
changed it.
bigger buck up front, but it hurts the community at
Yeah.
large.
It
That's
hurts
what-
the longevity
I
of
would-
the game.
I might
Of-
agree.
So
of
that's only
the product.
That's only if they changed it like now, right? If there's always been a $120 price floor, that would be the normal price for a
And
box.
nobody would have a problem paying it.
because
sure.
because if you bought packs individually, it's like 150.
But my point was the Wizards really doesn't care about that. All they care about is making their buck.
Well, that's why
Right.
we all agree with that.
Which is why they don't
it's a
want to
negative
have
thing.
a price floor because they move more product if they don't.
Right, but it's-
Amazon
it's
buys
incredibly
more.
Just
short-sighted,
incorporated
though.
theirs in the
Yeah.
last couple years, too.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. It's short sighted because you're gonna destroy your local game communities. But I think at the level that Amazon is probably buying Magic, that it
Right, but
I
in
don't
the
know.
aggregate, if you have fewer Magic players, it doesn't matter right now if you sold more Magic. If in 2 years you've reduced the amount of Magic players to where now your overall sales are less.
Yeah, but I don't know if it. I don't know.
Arena's
if it, I
weird
don't
too
know if
because
it
like
removes Magic.
that's
players,
all.
though.
Arena
my thing.
Arena can
But the
increase.
removing stores from the equation will remove the amount of Magic players.
Yeah.
It will lower the amount of players overall.
Yeah, I
Are
mean,
we-
one great
are
thing
we
about
sure?
having
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if those people. So take the people in the store that play Magic. Does anybody in the store stop playing Magic if this store closes?
I think eventually some of them do.
If the
Yeah.
stores in around the area, so if all the stores in our radius stop playing, a lot of them would probably stop playing.
Really?
As
if
much.
there's nowhere to play 40K,
They'd buy
do you
less,
keep
for
playing
sure.
40K?
Yeah, I mean, we would-
40K
we-
is
we
a
didn't-
little bit different.
We never. Well, we never.
I don't.
We
well,
never
I mean,
played at a game
you
store.
can't-
We played at each other's
Right,
houses.
but would you still be playing 4 years later with nowhere to
Yeah, probably.
I see,
But
I
again,
don't know. I think you'd
40K
get bored of it.
40K is a different beast.
It is
because-
very different.
Because first of all, it's a table and chairs is all you need to play Magic.
Yeah.
Like we need terrain, we need large tables. We
Yeah.
need,
And
plus
the
we
investment
need
of
an
time is
abundance
so much
of,
greater.
of opponents and different armies.
No, dude,
Like,
I
it
completely,
is a
I
different beast.
completely,
And
I
40K is more
completely
social.
understand.
Yeah.
I completely
Wargaming's
understand.
a little bit more social.
But I don't give up on 40K if my local areas go.
You might play
under.
less and buy less though.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
and that's what I'm saying in
You're right.
aggregate. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is nice that like
But-
you can lose a game or something and be like, I need more
Ferris-
cards, and you can walk right over
Ferris
the
just
desk
said he
and get
would,
more cards.
Mm-hmm.
Ferris just said if you didn't have a local game store to play, he'd 100% stop playing.
Really?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also Ferris asked about Japanese war boxes. You want me to tell him?
yeah, I mean, we might as well. I mean, that is one of the things that sparked this conversation.
Yeah, here's one thing that Wizards did that is also a negative.
in the long
to-
line of doing negative things.
one of the negative things they've done in local game stores, they just announced a kind of special edition box. The Japanese boxes for the next set are going to have alternative art planeswalkers,
Okay.
and they just announced this last night.
That's just for stores?
No boxes.
It's
so
for anybody
So,
who
so
can get a hold of them.
if a Japanese box or Japanese packs
Okay.
will have a chance to have an alternative art planeswalker
yeah,
inside
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So they're going to be a little bit more in demand because those are kind of different items.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Even player, and they're going to be sold worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a number of players express interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
However, since it's so late, because it comes out pre-release is this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and the release is the weekend after. Typically, stores get a lot of their product on pre-release weekend.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty late in the game to like kind of order that stuff, even our distributors. So
Well, no, distributors aren't. It's already in the
already- yeah,
warehouse.
distributors already
everything's
have
in the
their orders.
warehouses, ready
yeah,
to go.
distributors already have it. So if they don't have Japanese boxes, then it's going to be hard to get them.
And here's the kicker: the foreign boosters are always more limited. So
yeah.
like
in America, obviously.
yeah, well, the foreign boosters will run out months before the English ones do.
Yeah.
Right. So
So
these Japanese boxes are in demand.
to answer Ferris's question, we're going to be able to get one box for release weekend. Only one. That's
Yeah,
only
not pre-release weekend. Release weekend.
Release weekend. We're only able to get one.
For now.
For now, we're going to try to get more. But so we're going to have one box that we're going to not sell as a box. We're just going to sell the packs.
to try to spread
That's
it around.
oh my, that's another thing that's screws.
Yeah, no, it's
But there's
it's
a
messed
huge
up.
because you
demand
It's
for it.
wrong.
there's a huge demand for it,
Why-
but
why
you
did they
can't
wait so long?
charge high prices for it. That's
Why
what's
did they
crappy.
wait
Not
so
only
long
that,
to
I
announce
it?
can't
There's-
get
you
it.
gotta
I don't know.
I can't
There's
get it
no
to meet
reason that they
demand
waited
because of
till
the way
now
they
to,
did
to
it.
release it.
We can't meet the demand because of the way Wizards handled it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
A month ago, when everything else is spoiled, they spoil that. We'll be able to facilitate
I mean,
everybody's need.
how?
Also, do you think Amazon gonna have a problem getting Japanese boxes?
Probably not.
Not at all.
I mean, because they're gonna buy
buy everything.
a million of them.
They'll probably sell out, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
after
they'll-
selling 1,000
Yeah.
or more.
yeah, they'll buy.
But now this is where Amazon, the really kind of the wicked side of Amazon, as soon as something like that is limited and in demand, the price skyrockets.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go to Amazon and get my stuff for cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to spend my money at Acropolis. I'd piss
Yeah.
on those guys.
No, I know.
Okay, but they want their Japanese booster. They go get it now. It's $170 for a Japanese booster. I don't know what it's going to be, but Acropolis, if they had it, would sell it for $105. Okay,
Yeah.
like $110 out the door, right? Oh, but Amazon has it for $85 or whatever it is. Okay, but now the tables are turned. Amazon is not going to be nice and still charge retail. They're going to up it.
Yeah,
They're gonna make more money on
if there's a high demand, they're gonna.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And they're gonna be the
prices-
only ones that have it.
So anyway, that's the. I just want to touch on that stuff. It's important.
Well, it's good that our audience kind of gets the insight of like our hobbies and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
how our business side of hobbies and how we are trying to do the best we can for everybody that comes and plays here.
Yeah,
in our
and sometimes your hands are just tied. Sometimes you just cannot.
Well, I mean, one box is all we can get. Then like it's definitely the best to open up the one and
and try to
Yeah, we wanna-
spread
divvy
want-
it up among the community.
Yeah, we don't
as much
want
as
to just sell it
possible.
to the first person that comes and says, "I want that box." We
Yeah,
want
it's
to
just that's
distribute
not
it.
fair to the community.
We want to distribute it amongst the community as best we can. So,
But-
that's what we're gonna do. Oh, but yeah, we're way over.
All right, guys. Well, that was episode 48. Good talk. Next time you see my beautiful face on this
we're
your
gonna, do
channel,
something, we're gonna do something special for
I'm gonna be a
50.
father. Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be a dad.
I'll wear a
Yeah,
onesie.
bring them.
I'm not bringing him online.
Why not?
I'll cry. I don't know. All right.
Episode 50, the first episode that
That's okay.
Steve Rogers Roberts is
Oh
making
my
his
God.
debut.
If Tim was my dad, I'd cry too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Looked like we had a good viewership the whole
we did.
night. So
Yeah, we had a.
thanks for watching, guys. We love you. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you
All
guys.
right.
Bye.